Welcome to Learn Logic Pro. Today we're going to look at side chaining. So with a new project, let's go ahead and create 4 instrument tracks. With these 4 instrument tracks, we're going to go to track 1 and load in an ultra beat. It doesn't really matter what kit, you can just choose a specific kit that you'd like to produce with on this particular track. Once the ultra beat is loaded in, you want to send to bus 1. Holding the option key and clicking will give you 0% automatically. We want to send this to 0%. The next thing we want to do is we want to send the bus and we want to turn off the output of both the main track and the bus. And with the ultra beat open, we're going to go ahead and put just a kick along the timeline. So I'm going to go into full view of the ultra beat. I'm going to get rid of these hi-hats. And we're just going to drag this part into the arrange window. Now I usually explain not to use the loop effect, but with this it does actually work quite well, because this will continue to loop throughout the entire track. The next is to add a synthesis part, or a synth part. And what we're going to do is we're going to just grab any synth. I'm going to go into the synthesis engine, and we're just going to grab a pad or something, and we're going to listen to this pad. Oops. Here we go. And you see how the note plays. It plays kind of long. So I'm just going to record that part. I'm going to record maybe quarter notes of it. So I'm going to make a loop here and just record that part. Turn the volume down a little. And here we go. So at this point we have the note playing throughout each bar. Okay. I also usually at this point duplicate the drum part so we have a kick and a snare in the song. This one the outputs have been turned off. Obviously with the new one I had to readjust the outputs and turn it off because I duplicated it. Now the trick here is to send this muted kick through into the synth, and the way you do that is use a compressor. So we're going to choose on the synth, and there's already a compressor here, so we're going to go ahead and use that compressor that's already on. And using the channel strips, most times you will find a compressor there. So I'm going to double click on this compressor. Now up in the upper right corner you'll have an option for side chaining. So just to reiterate, this particular track sends to bus. So if I change this side chain to the bus, whatever's being played here goes out to the side chain. So I'm going to go onto this curved air and we're going to play this part with the kick, but now it is side chaining through the compressor. At first you don't hear anything, but we're going to adjust this a little bit. And you'll notice it'll start to almost give a little LFO effect. Usually you want to put a limiter on here as well, just to make sure that the levels are not going into red. Now the release time is very important. You want to make sure you get this correct so that it does actually pulse correctly and it does feel correct. You'll do this by ear mostly. Turning on auto tries to auto the release. You'll notice I'm able to push the gain really hard because I've sent this thing and squashing it each time the kick comes around. Now with sidechain compression, this can be done on samples, it can be done on hi-hat riffs, it can be done in practically anything. You notice with a lot of tracks, sidechain compression is being used on every single audio and MIDI track that's available to them. I've tried this on other applications, but I found that the sidechain compression here in Logic is by far the most superior that I've played with. So that's sidechain compression.